Hello to all my students. So welcome to the module 1 of the HTML course with me Priyanka Sharma. In this module, we will be looking at a basic introduction to what is HTML. Here in this course, I will actually explain you what is the meaning of the term HTML, what it stands for and the different features. So let's get started. HTML stands for HyperText Markup Language. Now in this particular slide, I'm not just going to give you a definition of what is HyperText Markup Language. I am going to also explain what each and every word means. I will be going a bit slow in this module because this is the place where we need to have a strong foundation of HTML. So moving fast or skipping some topics here will not be good. We will be trying to understand HTML, how it was invented, what is the reason it was invented, who invented, and what are the different versions of HTML since it was created to the current or the latest version that we have right now. We will also be starting to look at how we can start writing simple tags. So let's get started. When we talk about this HTML word, this HTML language stands for Hypertext Markup Language. This word here shows that this is actually a language. The word text is a bit misleading because it tells us that we will be only able to generate or make text. But in particular HTML, we only do not restrict ourselves to the text. So it is text, audio as well as video files. The word hyper means creating an instance at a click. So let me give you an example. Let's say you open a website and there is a particular link which says home. When you click on this link, it initiates an action, and it initiates an action which we term as hyper. Markup word means corresponding to every action we take, we will have a particular reaction. So this is what the each and every word means, Hypertext Markup Language. So as I said, hypertext does not mean only text. When we say hypertext, it does not mean only text. It includes graphics, it includes different video files which we will be looking at. It includes the sounds, which is the MP3 files. So it includes all these different types of attributes which we can add. The next thing that we are going to look at now is the different versions of HTML. My dear students, it's very important to know before you start learning a language, it's very important to know why it was created, which year it was created, what were the initial versions of a particular language to what is the current version of this language. HTML, the very first version was invented in year 1991. Soon after HTML was created, they gave another version to this which was HTML+. When we'll be learning HTML, when we'll start to code in HTML, you will realize that it is made up of entirely 4-letter word which is tags. I'll explain this to you in detail, but just to explain you what was the difference between HTML and HTML+ was an introduction of more tags which were initially created in HTML. So this particular version came in 1993. We had another version, HTML 2.0, which was introduced in the version 1995. We had another release version in 3.2, which was created 2 years later, which is 1997. We had HTML 4.01, which was created in 1999. And soon after that, we had another version of HTML which was called as XHTML in the version 2000. HTML5, which is the latest version, was introduced in the year 2012. It's important to know what was introduced as we moved from one version to another. As I explained before, HTML is made of lot of tags. So as and when a new version was created, new features, new tags were invented and introduced in the subsequent versions. So starting from 1991 to 2012, HTML has made a tremendous progress, and you will actually see the lot of websites which are built using this particular technology. Before we actually start coding in HTML, there are few terminologies which I will be using throughout this course. So what I'm going to do now is take you through all those terminologies on this page, and if you are taking notes, I would suggest you to kindly make a note of this, because we will not be understanding these terminologies again. We will just be using these terminologies in this course. The word www, or the abbreviation www, stands for World Wide Web. When we will be creating web pages, you will see this particular in the URL. This introduces us to another word which stands for URL, which stands for Uniform Resource Locator. All right, let's move to the another terminology, which is browser. I'm sure most of you understand browser, but if you need a definition to what a browser is, it's basically a software program that helps us to view the web pages. Any website which you see, which you browse, it could be your college, university or school website, or it could be the website of your organization in which you are working, is made up of couple of web pages which are individual entities in that particular website. All right, so what we do is, in a browser, we will be using that particular browser to see those individual entities, which is also called as the web pages. Now there are a lot of different types of browsers which we use. If for the HTML course, feel free to use Chrome, you can use Firefox browser, you can also use the Internet Explorer, Safari, you can use any browser. Okay, so I'll show you how we use these browsers linked with the editor later, but for now we need to get comfortable with these basic terms: www, which stands for World Wide Web, URL, which is Uniform Resource Locator, and browser, which is a software program in which we will actually be able to run or execute and see the code that we have written. Let's move on to the next terminology, which is the HTML editor. Now students, if you're coming across this word for the first time, what is an editor? Let's say you've picked up HTML as your very first programming language. Let me explain you this word editor, and let us keep it very simple. Let's say if you are taking notes in the organization you're working or the university you're studying, you will take notes in a notepad, isn't it? You'll be making some notes as the lecture goes on. You might be doing the same now as you are doing this course with me. So for your normal or for your courses or the notes that you make, you take a notebook and you start writing, start making notes. Editor is simple, is the same thing. When you talk about any programming language, you need a place where you can write your programming language code, and that is called as the editor. So any technology you will be learning, not only HTML, any technology you will be learning, you will need an editor in which you will be coding. And for our course, for the HTML course we are doing, we will be using an editor, Notepad, and we'll do all our coding in the notepad. How we can create the different HTML doc structure, we'll cover that in next module, so kindly stay tuned.